If you were running Borg Warner or Lear or Ford, what would you do? Would you be looking to move those supply chains here, or would you simply try to wait it out and hope for the best?
Well, first of all, you can't move things fast. You know, that takes a year to 18 months to resource critical parts that you've invested in. But what I would do, what I'm sure they're doing when you brush away all the hype and all the anxiety, is they're going to wait to see what happens. Because my guess is these tariffs will either not be imposed next week, or if imposed, will simply place more pressure on Mexico to do something about stemming the tide from their side of the border, which is basically the president's agenda. This has nothing to do with trade or protecting American jobs in the auto industry. This has everything to do with using the threat of tariffs to get Mexico to respond and do something on their end. And if I were the CEO of a major corporation, either automotive or components, I would just sit there and wait it out and know that, in my judgment, the president knows what he's doing.
You know, Bob, but you're there in Michigan, and I'm sure that tariff surprise Friday when it came out reverberated across your state more than any other. I know you talked to a lot of the executives still. Was it kind of a holy you-know-what moment, or was it, well, we kind of thought this might be coming and we're gonna be okay?
No, I think it was probably a surprise for everybody, and we've never really seen this linkage before. We've never seen the threat of tariffs, which affect an industry and another country, used as a lever to achieve something else, in this case, immigration control. So that's a new linkage, which is somewhat unexpected. But I think, you know, the automobile industry has surprises all the time. I mean, exchange rate movements alone can create far more than a 5% cost penalty. So if I were Borg Warner or somebody else is say that a certain transfer case, which today coming from Mexico is maybe costs $100. So after the tariffs, it costs 105 or 107. Well, they probably absorb some of that for a while and then try to pass on the rest. But 5% swings in cost get absorbed by the system.
I like what you did there. You took a link to the linkage. Literally, you talked about the transmission in some cases, Bob. So I guess that's the $1 trillion question, right? Which is, let's say the tariffs come and they go up nothing gets solved, and now they're at 15 or 20%. At what point is there a breaking point for the parts companies and for the consumer? Because let's be clear, car prices have been going up a lot over the last decade because of technology anyway. Would a 15% jump on a transmission destroy car sales in America?
No, I don't think they'd destroy car sales, but they would certainly slow them down. And any cost increase to the consumer is not welcome at this point. And you're quite right. I mean, car prices and especially SUV prices have almost doubled in the last 8 years or so. And part of it is, I don't think any of it is tariffs. Most of it is technology, and a lot of the technology is mandated by federal requirements. But I think we are on the cusp of getting an affordability issue with new cars. But when new cars become more expensive, people resort to late model used cars. And late model used cars are not produced in some used car factory. They're produced by the same automobile industry that sells new cars. So if used cars are in high demand, the prices rise, and then the owner of a used car has less of a step to a new car. So somehow, as long as you've got this enormous supply of used cars and a large population and cars that are not wearing out, but certainly getting older, the business is safe. And besides, I don't think we're looking at more tariffs, because I don't think President Trump likes tariffs per se. He's using tariffs to get what he wants out of other countries.
Yeah, and I think you're making a very important point because the market tends to be short-sighted. We get this headline, we hear the tariffs, everybody gets scared. It's 5 or 10%. The price of a new Silverado, a GM Silverado or a Ford F-150 can be $60,000 now if you get the backup camera and the touch screens. And nobody says a word about those things because you stretch out the auto loan. It's all about the monthly payment. Do you think the market has overreacted to these tariffs, given the fact that you said car prices have doubled in a decade?
Let me tell you this. The market always overreacts. There's always some sort of news item. People don't bother to read below the headline, and they rush off and they start selling stocks for no reason whatsoever. And I think the smart money just sits back and says, let's wait and see how this plays out. Maybe we'll have a buying opportunity here in a week or so.
Any sign that you see, Bob, that the big SUVs, the pickups, the money makers for the GMs and Fords, that they're slowing down?
No, none whatsoever, except that I think the consumer is slowing down, just showing signs of not sticker shock, but sticker fatigue. And I think we're going to see a stable market at around 16.8 million for a little while now. And it's certainly not going to go up to 17.2 or 17.5 or anything like that. I think the industry is acutely aware of the fact that pricing of new vehicles is getting to the point where it can become an issue. And your point about monthly payments, that's what people look at. They never look at the list price. They look at the monthly payments. And we have a deal now where we have a situation now where, thanks to leasing or thanks to 80-month paper, the people never actually own the vehicles, and that's not good.